This is what France said 3 years ago when the crisis in Cameroon started and the international community was called to help. The actual crisis shall be resolved in Cameroon. Translation: only France will decide what happens in Cameroon. Since then, everybody has toed the French line. United Nations Organization, United States of America, United Kingdom, African Union, British Commonwealth, Nigeria, and so on. Meanwhile, in Anglophone Cameroon, what some are now calling genocide has been going on. Nobody is at ease in the international community, but nobody is doing what they know they can do to stop the genocide. Fear of France or a conspiracy. All that is left is talk, and everyone is talking.
We all know the history, we all know where this is coming from, and the Anglophone population of Cameroon would very much like to be considered as first-class citizens, and there is a sense that they feel like, and they have felt a long time, like they're second-class citizens. It is up to dialogue and true dialogue to move this process forward.
Oh, have a dialogue, have a dialogue, have a dialogue. America said have a dialogue. Thibault Nash have a dialogue. Kerambas have a dialogue. The Europeans have a dialogue. Even the French jumped in, have a dialogue. When the French jump in, know that there's nothing there. Should we be seeking for redress of the Ambazonian problem through La République? I say this because I think that La République and the French are beneficiaries of what the British and the UN did, even with French corruption. But the French were corrupting in the back. The authorities that were responsible for justice and for giving what Ambazonia deserves were the British and the UN. So should we be appealing, or should we be negotiating with the French or with La République, which is a colony of the French?
We should not be negotiating with the French masquerading as La République du Cameroon. If you have a little chicken coop and a fox comes in, do you expect the chicken to go and sit at the table with the fox to negotiate with? You expect a third party to come in and say, okay, Mr. Chicken and Mr. Fox negotiate with it? The chickens are going to end up being eaten by the foxes.
Because La République, they sat them as a French colony. They did not vote for our independence. And the UN and the British took Southern Cameroon, invited their French hand-picked president to come to Tico, and they handed him Southern Cameroons. And my goodness, it was a lifeline that they handed to them, because since then the amount of resources they've had from Southern Cameroons have been huge. They have their oil, they have CDC, they have cocoa. They stole money from Produce Marketing Board. Immediately after they took us over, they came into to PW Bamenda, PW, all the public works department, cleared out all our earth moving equipment and took them over to their country. Clean the place.
Now we're going back to the United Nations. I think that is where we should go, to the United Nations or to any other third party that has the willingness and ability to give us justice. Either the United Kingdom or the United Nations, which were part of the nomenclature of that territory, were present in Pumba.
Mm-hmm.
They had made a deal to annex our territory to La République du Cameroon. The French have confirmed it. They confirmed it in saying that we became a little gift to them from the Queen of England. That is a crime that has to be reversed, It's not up to the French to reverse that. It's obviously not up to La République du Cameroon to reverse that. The international community or the United Nations, if you want to be a little bit more specific, or any other third party, maybe the British, if at some point they develop a conscience, can step in and help us regain our humanity.
Okay, for the benefit of those who think that they can negotiate with La République, is there? Tell me how you think a special status situation with La République would function like.
It's a waste of my time. It's not going to work. We are a territory that was annexed. We have international boundaries. We need to get out of our territory. There's nothing like a special status anymore. There's no treaty. There's no legal construct that puts these two peoples together. They should leave.
Well, let me, like I said, for the benefit of those who believe in that, because I think okay, I'll give you...
Why do you want to give a benefit to people who we cannot continue to be on the path of life and expect anything good out of it? Why are you giving benefit to people who are believing in lies? Things that are obviously, transparently false.
I think what I wanted to do was just show an example to those who are even thinking in that direction, that what they call special status is like what La République says. Vote your mayor. Those
who are thinking in that direction will never ever accept reason. They have their own motives and they have the incentives for them to be thinking in that direction.
Yes.
So no matter what we say, I mean, the reality is there. They are not accepting it. The reality is there. Even Paul here in his lame appearance on French television accepted the reality that we have failed in assimilating these people. Right?
Yes, he has. But let me just say this though. Let me just say this. That for those who are thinking that that special status is something, I just want to give them what La République is going to do. Basically, they will say it's something like vote your mayor democratically, and then they will take a government delegate and put on top of that mayor, and it will never go anywhere. And I think that's what Terence doesn't even want us to talk about, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, La République du Cameroun and Ambazonia do not have a legal construct. There's no legal foundation.
Yeah,
that's why La République du Cameroun is a lawless country.
And it's really sad for those who believe that we can actually make it together as African people. But there were African people who were being managed by African people working for Europeans, the French. And you know, when the French or the Europeans come to choose who would manage their colonies, they select some of the dumbest Africans to do that.
So far as these two people are together in a lawless construct, there can be no harmony. There can be no harmony.
Yes. I also
and the apparent harmony that has lasted for the past 55, 66 years has been destroyed. And it will never come back to that without, as it was said at the onset of this crisis, without addressing that good cause. Those who are advocating for this so-called special status do not want to address that good cause. They do not want to address that good cause because they do not want to be a witness for those of the Ambazonian people who have been dispossessed. And again, I'll quote James Baldwin, who says that there is a doctrine of white supremacy which has the power to intimidate any possible witness for the dispossessed. They do not want to be a witness for the dispossessed. They are intimidated. They want to continue to promote this doctrine of white supremacy that gives the French and the British and the Germans and the Russians, whoever wants to come and use the tool that they have in Yaoundé to loot the African continent, to loot La République du Cameroun, and to loot Ambazonia.
Yes, I just want to say that, let me write on what you've been saying about white supremacy. I think Barrister Harmony Bobga also says that the United Nations and the British and the French obviously think that they had the power to do what they did, but he's saying that they did not couch it in legality.
That conspiracy was not, it did not get packaged in a legal instrument.
Okay.
That is, in fact, if I were a consultant to the conspirators, I would say you fail, because there was no act of union. So the conspiracy never eventually got cloth with legality, and it never obtained legitimacy, because from day one, in spite of the oppression, the suppression, as has been manifested recently, Southern Cameroonians have never had a split second that they have never rejected their assimilation.
That's where the vulnerability comes from, and therefore they will never go back to the root causes.